We all know what the meaning of the word bring is, and we use it in our conversations, like on a daily basis, right? But in today's video, what I want to do differently is focus your attention on several English phrases, starting with the word bring and having the verb bring as the main verb that you gotta learn to use these phrases in different situations to express different ideas. Are you ready? Of course you are. So let's get started. The first English phrase is to bring something to an end. To bring something to an end. When you bring something to an end, you end something, you stop something, you no longer do something. An example of this phrase: the government's new policy will bring all the illegal activities to an end. The government's new policy will bring all the illegal activities to an end, which means the government's new policy will stop or will end all the illegal activities. They will no longer happen because the government's new policy will bring them to an end. So that's the meaning of bring something to an end. So the next time you want to talk about ending or stopping something, but you want to use a different phrase instead of repeating stop or end, you can simply use this phrase. You can say, you bring something to an end. You bring an activity to an end. You bring, let's say, a certain type of behavior to an end. So to bring something to an end. Now we get to the second phrase, starting with the word bring, which is to bring something to a close. To bring something to a close. When you bring something to a close, you reach a conclusion about something. You conclude something. This is usually used in formal and polite settings and situations. So when you want to formally say that you want to conclude something, you want to bring something to a conclusion, you can simply say, you bring something to a close. An example of this phrase: the guests brought the party to a close by a heartfelt thank you. The guests brought the party to a close by a heartfelt thank you, which means the guests ended the party, concluded the party, by saying thank you in a very sincere way, in a very, compassionate way. Or they concluded the party, they ended the party with a heartfelt thank you, with a strong feeling of gratitude or gratefulness. Now let's get to the third English phrase containing the word bring that you got to use to express different ideas in different situations, which is to bring something to a conclusion. To bring something to a conclusion. When you bring something to a conclusion, what you do is resolve or complete something after a process of investigation or discussion. An example of this phrase: they brought the project to a conclusion after months of testing and revision. They brought the project to a conclusion after months of testing and revision, which means they completed the project after a process or a period of investigation or discussion. Now let's get to the next phrase with the verb bring that you got to learn to talk about power or politics, which is to bring someone to power. To bring someone to power. When you bring someone to power, you enable someone to gain a political position, or you enable someone to rise to power or to gain a political power or authority. So to bring someone to power means to enable someone to, let someone or help someone rise to power, gain political power and authority, or gain a position of power and authority. An example of this phrase: the military coup brought the general to power overnight. The military coup brought the general to power overnight, which means the military coup enabled the general to rise to power or to gain a position of power or authority overnight. And now we're getting to the fifth English phrase with the word bring that you got to learn to be able to talk about legal matters or to talk about the topic of justice, which is to bring someone to justice. To bring someone to justice. When you bring someone to justice, you arrest or punish someone for committing a crime. Someone has committed a crime, has done something wrong, and now you hold them accountable, you punish them or arrest them for having done so, for having committed a crime, or for having done something wrong. An example of this phrase: after a long investigation, the war criminal was finally brought to justice. After a long investigation, the war criminal was finally brought to justice, which means after a long investigation, the war criminal was finally held accountable for the atrocities he had committed, for the war crimes he had committed. In other words, after a long investigation, the war criminal, the criminal who had committed war crimes or war atrocities, was punished or arrested for the crimes he had committed, or was held accountable and responsible for his behavior or his actions. Now let's get to the next English phrase of today's video with the word bring, which is to bring someone or something into conflict with someone or something else. To bring someone or something into conflict with someone or something, which means to cause someone to come into conflict or get into conflict with someone or something, or experience a conflict with someone or something. An example of this phrase: I hope the political differences don't bring the two parties into conflict with each other. I hope the political differences don't bring the two parties into political conflict with each other, which means I hope the political differences don't cause a conflict between the two parties, or don't have the two parties come into conflict with one another. The next English phrase with the word bring is to bring someone or something into contact with someone or something else. To bring someone or something into contact with someone or something else. When you bring someone into contact with someone or something else, what happens is you enable someone to experience someone or something. You get someone or something to meet someone or something else. An example: living abroad can bring you into contact with people from all over the world. Living abroad can bring you into contact with people from all over the world, which means living abroad can enable you to experience life with other people in the world, with other people from all over the world. Or living abroad can help you meet other people from other countries or other parts of the world. And now we're ending today's video with the very last phrase that you gotta learn that contains the word bring, which is to bring someone or something to their knees. To bring someone or something to their knees. When you bring someone or something to their knees, what you do is damage someone or something so badly that they can no longer work properly. They can no longer function properly. Or you defeat someone or something in a way that they can no longer function properly or work properly. So to bring someone or something to their knees means to weaken someone so much that they can no longer continue to survive. To weaken someone or something so much that they can no longer work and operate, especially in the way they used to. An example of this phrase: the lack of proper management has brought the company to its knees. The lack of proper management has brought the company to its knees, which means the lack, the shortage, the absence of proper management has weakened the company so much that it can no longer function or work properly, or has done a lot of damage to the company, has done damage to the company so badly that the company can no longer survive, can no longer stand on its feet, can no longer continue working, the way it should, or can no longer survive. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. So in today's video, you learned several English phrases with the word bring that you can use in different situations. Let's review these phrases once again together. To bring something to an end. To bring something to an end. To bring something to a close. To bring something to a close. To bring something to a conclusion. To bring something to a conclusion. To bring someone to power. To bring someone to power. To bring someone to justice. To bring someone to justice. To bring someone into conflict with someone or something. To bring someone into conflict with someone or something. To bring someone or something into contact with someone or something. To bring someone or something into contact with someone or something. To bring someone or something to their knees. To bring someone or something to their knees. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.